What is up, my little Deinos? Vepsis, your coach of the Helsinki Hydreigons, and we are here for the UBL Season 3 Week 7 team builder versus DeathlyiAm and his team being the Tennessee Trubbish. Make sure to check him out, of course. His social links will be down below in the description. He's probably the biggest YouTube channel that is, or he owns the biggest YouTube channel that is taking part of the UBL Season 3. And he also is relatively active on Twitch as well as a streamer himself, and he also does triathlete content from the WBE, which is one of the leagues that he's also taking part of besides the UBL. So make sure to check him out. I would think he would appreciate it, and I would as well. And big shoutouts to SlackOut as well, yet again as always coming through in a big way in regards to the graphic itself. For this video and for the future videos as well, hopefully. And make sure to check his YouTube channel out and follow him on Twitter. Those links will be down below in the description. I would really appreciate it, and I would be sure that he would be as well. But regards to his team, you can see yet again below my face cam. Well, first you see my roster, including my C captains as a reminder being Greninja and Moltres. And regards to my opponent, his roster you can see below that one. And the C captains for him will be Hydreigon and Rotom Frost. And man, it pains me to potentially having to face my own mascot in a matchup and try to take it down. It never feels right for me. So hopefully he doesn't bring that thing. And with the C captaincy that it has, it's a huge threat by far. Considering my own team. That is hardest for me to deal with on paper would be the Volcanion. So that is something that immediately came across to me, that I had to figure out a way to deal with that thing and try to predict what kind of set he would be running with it based on my own team and based on the how he has used it so far throughout the season. So I'm kind of banking on the fact that the best sets versus me that I would think he will bring would be TheChoiceSpecs or a Assault Vest set, and obviously a special variant of Volcanion. So that was the first thing that I had to address with this team, but it's not obviously the one that I'm gonna be covering first that has to deal with that, hopefully. But that was like a primary thing that immediately was on my back of my mind, that once I'm able to figure out how that Volcanion is likely to function versus me, I have to find a proper way to deal with that thing, and we are gonna be covering later on what that's going to be for me. And regardless of anything else, there was one more that I immediately knew that I had to bring into this matchup because it has a phenomenal matchup, and that is of course Matthews, the Mega Galadan. And we are running close combats in Headbutts, Shadow Sneak and Sword Dance with Jolly Nature, almost max attack. I just made sure that at +2 I will OHKO 100% a physical defensive Vaporeon once I get a Sword Dance up and go for a close combat on it. And then we have Send Headbutt for the stab. This ensures as well that we can OHKO a Nidoqueen after Stealth Rocks at least 87% of time if it's max HP, and if it has more defense investment, then I would need a little bit more chip on it. But if it's more bulkier variant, it cannot do as much damage back to me. So those were some critical benchmarks that I needed the attack investment for, and the speed investment is there to ensure that I outspeed a max speed Jolly Mienshao. Will I expect it to be max speed at Jolly versus my own team when my fastest mon near to its speed tier is Celebi? Not really, because I have seen him doing a proper IV spreads on his past weeks, but this week I wanted to be safe with it, and there was nothing else that I could have really gained from it. So I figured it was better this time around to be safe than sorry and ensure that I outspeed it. And therefore my opponents in the future have to kind of respect the fact that I can put more speed on them and not try to predict their speed tiers necessarily. So that is going to be the first one, and then we are going to be covering my Mega Kangaskhan counter, which is pretty obvious to be able to tell by signed item, and that is going to be Rocky Helmet, fully physically defensive Celebi. I wanted to make it more well-rounded spread in a way that it's not like 252 and 252, but I need this so that the return from a Jolly max attack Mega Kangaskhan itself won't two-shot me after Stealth Rocks if I'm like at full before coming into them. So that was the benchmark that I noticed that 252 can only provide for me, and I couldn't take a more lesser route with that, or invest less on it, what I should say. So that is basically the functionality for its primary role, and then it's there just to be able to be a soft check to Vaporeon. It doesn't unfortunately two-shot a max HP Vaporeon with Energy Ball. Barring some prior chip, it does like 47 minimum to 56%. So it's kind of like a roll to two-shot that thing. But this thing is kind of like my skull switching as well from that thing as well. Because Vaporeon can be a little bit annoying for me to switching into otherwise. So it functions in both ways. Primary for Mega Kangaskhan, and then can also provide the Vaporeon switching. And it does provide also me Stealth Cocks, which are really important for this matchup. Considering that he has few things that are weak to Stealth Rocks, especially the biggest threat versus me, which is the Volcanion, from my point of view at least, to deal with. So that is going to be the Celebi recovery for the recovery, and U-turn for the momentum. So pretty straightforward with that. And speaking of straightforward, we are going to be bringing the typical set of Bob the Alola Mark with the Figgy Berry set, and we are running a Careful Nature. This is there primarily to deal with my own mascot being the Hydreigon. We are making sure that at this amount of bulk investment on HP and SPDF, and with the Careful Nature, that we are not two-shotted by Earth Power from Hydreigon after Stealth Rocks. And then obviously the Figgy Berry is just gonna be able to help to gain that HP back. And thankfully on this scenario, Hydreigon does not learn Knockoff, so I don't have to worry about that being a thing, and I can always recycle versus that thing and eventually go for a Poison Jab and eventually get a Poison on it in itself, or a regular Poison, what I should say from it. So it's pretty much there for that. I do pack the Pursuit as well, just in case if I need to eliminate Delmice for getting a rock, be able to remove rocks later on. It can of course deal with the Bronzong trying to having to switch out, even though I don't really worry about Bronzong honestly with my team, except being a potential Stealth Rocker that could be annoying about it. And it's also able to provide some chip, weirdly enough, to a Rebound if I need to, because we did pack the Shadow Sneak on Mega Gallade, and if there's a scenario I can find him to be passive versus my Mega Gallade, for example versus Bronzong, which could be one of my setup fodders with it, at +4 I can potentially kill it with a Shadow Sneak after a Pursuit recall, and especially after Stealth Rocks that can be a case for Mega Gallade, and that's one of the reasons that I packed the Shadow Sneak on it, which I didn't cover earlier. So hopefully Bob can help in that regard and just being a special defensive pivot. And then we have the physical bulk that actually enables us to... What was the thing? It was able to live a Earthquake from a Jolly max attack Mega Kangaskhan, unless he gets the 6.3 chance of be able to actually get the highest overall to kill me after Stealth Rock. So the physical bulk does come into play, but it wasn't the primary goal. The primary goal was having the special bulk for the Earth Power out of the Hydreigon. So the fourth member of the team is gonna be the Kanye, the Alomomola. We are running a Leftovers and Calm Nature this time around, a max special defense and 228 on HP. This enables us to not be two-shotted by Nidoqueen's Life Orb Modest Sludge Wave after Stealth Rocks, I believe. And especially with Leftovers and Protect, we can definitely make sure that we can avoid that scenario. And then this is primarily there for the Volcanion. Now, there are Volcanion sets that can beat this thing that I do worry about, but like I said, based on the matchup in itself, something like a sub-toxic Volcanion, which normally could beat any variant of Alomomola for the most part, like 1v1 easily, and could be a huge threat to me. This is kind of like where I figured that, you know what, there's a good chance that I can make this set work versus a Volcanion, because I feel like it's somewhat in a pickle in a sense versus me, that it has to have a ground type of coverage versus me, because my He cannot touch Tragalsi, for example, with its dual stab at all. Tragalsi has a tremendous BDF, and I feel like versus my own team, Earth Power could make a lot of sense, because it can enable to hit something like Alola much harder than it can do with its dual stab, even though they are not resisted, but it's still a super effective hit that it can provide with that too. So I feel like because it needs both of the stabs and it needs the crown type coverage versus me, there's more likely that it's not gonna be a sub-toxic set that could beat this Alomomola. But we have to wait and see how that's gonna go once we see the battle itself, how it's gonna be unfolding. But that's kind of like what I'm banking on going to this matchup, that would be the case for him throughout the prep. So as long as it doesn't pack substitute or toxic, I can beat it with this set. And this kind of gave me the comfort level going to this matchup that, okay, the biggest threat should be able to be dealt with, and it should not be able to run the set that can beat the counter that I'm bringing to it. So that is going to be the Alomomola, just there to be just a pivot, and potentially the Wish Passing support, besides for itself, can be useful for my other members of the team. Then the fifth member of the team is going to be Moltermod, the Moltres coming yet again, making appearance, and this time around, unlike last week when we run a specially defensive variant with toxic shenanigans versus SareneGrace, now we are going with all out power with the Flying UMC Moltres with Hurricane, Flamethrower Roost, and Defog with the Flame Body as its abilities. So just like Mega Gallade, we kinda try to make sure that we have just enough the special attack that we need. It's not 252, but it's pretty much close to it. And that is there to ensure that the Assault Vest Max HP Volcania will be 2-hit KO'd by a raw Hurricane into a Flying UMC, or other way around. Essentially, it can work as well for me. So that is the benchmark that we hit it there. It also ensures that at least 87% of time, or something like that, like above 80% of time, we do outquake max HP Nidoqueen from full with a Flying UMC if needed to, and we do have the speed investment to outspeed max speed Modest Nidoqueen just in case, to ensure that we can do that. And then rest is just added to the bulk, and then we have Flamethrower for the Fire Stab to be able to hit the other things like Bronzong super effectively with it. And then we do also have the Defog, because he does have all forms of hazards on his team barring spikes. So I want to ensure that off the chance he does bring hazards versus me, I can remove them. And Moltres should be able to beat all barring the Aerodactyl that can set up hazards versus me in itself, as long as we have the Flying UMC still intact for the Nidoqueen. So that is gonna be the Moltres. We do pack the Flame Body ability just in case if I need to get a sneaky Flame Body burn or make a Kangaskhan if I can predict the move that he would be going for. Mienshao, the same case, if I see him likely clicking U-turn, I can punish him for that. And just scenarios like that, the Flame Body abilities seem it more useful this time around than I figured Pressure ability should be. So that is gonna be the Moltres, hopefully providing another wall breaker for the team, similar to Mega Gallade, that while it can be a winning condition because we do pack the Shadow Sneak for the niche priority, that if he doesn't see it coming, it can function in that way. But primarily these two are here to wall break the shit out of his defensive cores once I'm able to position them right. And then we have another thing that potentially can wall break, but it's primarily there to sweep with its priority once we are able to eliminate its primary resist to bullet punch, and that is of course our blade, the Choice Bandit Scissor, coming this time around with a Adamant Nature max attack, enough speed to outspeed minimum speed invested Volcanion. Off the chance I'm able to see that he doesn't have speed investment on it based on the damage output that I'm doing to it, or the way it's able to take the hits per se. If I see a scenario I can risk it, I will do that, but more likely I won't be doing it, but I wanted to have the option just in case. And then we have the special defense and 8 speed to ensure that Hidden Power Fire from a Ribombe, I believe, can only 6.3 chance of the time outcall me from full, so we do have that as well going for us. And then the moves are Bullet Punch for the priority and are able to clean up the game, or be a failsafe to Aerodactyl and Ribombe, which are 2 mods that I cannot outspeed otherwise naturally on my team unless I brought something to outspeed them with Choice Scarf, or just to go with the priority route what I chose to go instead. And then we have the Bug Bite for a stronger bug stab, because this can 2-shot a physical defensive Vaporeon on the switch, because it does like 52.9 at minimum, so it should give us 99.6 chance to 2-shot that thing if I remember right. It's somewhere based on that, or a guaranteed 2-hit KO even without the stealth rocks being up. And then we have Knockout just to be able to eliminate items like Volcanian's item would be huge, because that gives me a huge intel what kind of set it's going to be, and eliminating that item is only a huge plus for me to go moving forward from there. And U-turn obviously for the momentum if I'm able to position myself in a way that I can go for that safely, and it's giving me a huge initiative and a huge hit on something while I'm doing it. So that is going to be the team of 6 that I'm going to be bringing versus DeathlyiAm. I'm attempting to upload this on Friday, as in today for you guys, and the battle should be going up after this video, 2 or 3 hours after this one has been uploaded. Currently I'm gonna be planning to record both of these back to back, both this team builder now being recorded and finalized, and then I jump into the battle portion of my recording, and then I attempt to upload them either at 1 PM and 3 PM EST or something in that nature, that you are able to see them on time on Friday, and I don't hopefully have to reschedule the battle upload for tomorrow. Fingers crossed everything goes well for me as I try to upload these for you guys for today, for Friday in itself. Thank you all for watching, hopefully you enjoyed. Stay tuned for the battle, of course, subscribe if you're new and ring the bell just to make sure that you won't be missing out the action. But until then, like I said, thank you all for watching, and until the next time for the battle itself versus DeathlyiAm, I'm gonna be seeing you guys later.